Good day, everybody. This is John Scarborough. Wanted to make another video on this little spot, this bare spot. See kind of what happened after the cattle got done with it. We fed a bale of hay. Now I made a previous video of this before we fed the hay. I'm going to put a link down in the description below, okay? So go check that video out before you look at this one. And then you can come back to this one, or vice versa, either way. But watch both so you can understand. So this is a follow-up video of what has happened to this clay. So this was nothing but bare clay. You can see over here, this is all still bare clay all over here. We're trying to get it to produce grass, to start growing again. It has not grown in years. From what I understand, there's a guy that used to, there's a pond up there. There's a guy that used to swim in that pond when he was a kid. This guy's about 85 years old. From what I understand from him, this has not been very good, not been a very good spot pretty much the entire time he's been around it. So if I had to estimate, I'd say at least 70 years and possibly longer than that. So this has been nothing but bare clay and a couple of trees and stuff, but it hasn't been good enough. The trees haven't held it together well enough. So it's been nothing but clay. So what we've done is spread this hay out on here, and we're gonna show you how you can turn bare clay that has been barren for this many years. I mean, that is nothing but solid red dirt. It's been barren for this many years. We're gonna show you how you can turn it into grass. Now, I cannot promise you a time limit on how long this is gonna take. I can tell you that I have done this before and it works. Sometimes it takes a little bit more time, sometimes it takes a little bit less time. But this is the beginning. What we've started with is feeding a bale here, spreading it out pretty decent, the best we could, and letting the cows graze all over it. So what it does is you take the bale and you put it on there and you get grass seed down in there. Now normally to get a summer grass to seed, to get its seed down in there and to get it to come back the next year, you would have to plow it for it to work very well. But by taking the cattle and letting them trample it down in there, because they're all in this one spot here, they need the soil and trample that grass down, that seed down into there. Also, the covering of the soil right here will allow the microbes to go to work, and it will hold the moisture on the ground, allowing the seed to germinate. Many times the reason you have to plow to get your seed to come up is because it's not germinating. So this right here will help the ground, the seed, to germinate. We will have to come back and feed another bale, but the way to do this, the best way to do this in my opinion, is to not feed it right off the bat. So we fed this one here. So now we're going to give this ground a little break, give it a chance to recover a little bit. If we keep feeding our cattle right here in the same spot, this is where all their parasites are. Now you can sit there and give them warmer, and you can sit there and give them all these shots and everything that it takes to help recover from that, but that doesn't necessarily mean they're going to recover, and that's not really a very healthy cow. So what I would rather do, and I'm not saying don't worm your cows and don't use whatever you got to use. The point is if you can have a preventative method as well, use it. And I find my cows are a lot healthier if I don't continue to feed them right around the manure. So what we'll do is we'll wait for this spot to kind of clean up a little bit through the rain and just through time, and then we'll come back before the winter's over and we'll respread it again with hay and feed it. Depending on how well it works, we may do it a third time. It just depends. You have to watch it and check it. What you're really looking for is for the entire ground to be covered with hay. This one right here, we didn't get as good of a coverage as we wanted to because we were in a rush. We had to get out of here. It was getting close to evening and we had to go. So we didn't spread it out. We just kind of spread it out halfway decent and called it good. We knew we were coming back again. So the most important thing, you want it to look like this when you're done. The entire spot, everywhere. Even if you got to come in with several bales, you want to come in and cover the entire ground. So what you want is for there to be so much hay left behind. You don't want them to waste hay, but cattle are always going to leave some of the hay. So you want them to, what they do leave behind, you want it to be enough to completely cover the ground all the way down. And then you can see as I dig down, I finally get down to the red clay. So you want it to completely cover every bit of the red. That's putting a lot of seeds, putting a lot of nutrients, but it's keeping the ground covered so that when the summer comes, it's not getting hot. And yes, a lot of this will last into the spring at least. If you really wanted to speed up this process, you would first come over here and seed this with a winter grass of some sort. I know that winter rye works very well, but you would seed it with that, and then as soon as the spring comes on, it would really come up heavy through that hay, and that would start to get some root structure down inside there and make it work very well. It would really speed up the process. What I would suggest is to hold the cows off of it, let your rye come to seed at least once, and then graze it. I have had times where I could let my rye come to seed up to 3 times on places like this. And if you can do that, the more you can let it come to seed and drop back on there, the more likely it will come back the next year. But at least one time. That's just if you want to speed up the process. If you don't have a seeder, you don't have a tractor, you don't have any of that, just put the hay on there. Let them feed on it. And you may have to do it next year, another year. But I promise you, even the first summer, you'll see some sort of, you'll see something good. Plus the hay on here, as the water starts to hit it and come off, it won't totally wash off. It won't completely wash off. And slowly but surely, the ground will start becoming more and more pliable and more absorbent. And partly, part of the reason why is because of the earthworms. But another big reason is because the grass itself is a carbonous material. And it's one of the fastest ways to get carbon back into your soil. That's pure red clay, y'all. That does not have very much very much carbon in it at all, if any. I'm saying very much because, I'm not a scientist. I have not tested it. But I know by looking at it, carbon is black. So I know that if it has any, it does not have very much. But this is a carbonous material, and so it will make the ground. Carbon holds water. That's why you want carbon in your soil. It's so important. And the earthworms will help pull that carbon down into the soil. Plus, when this grass starts to grow, because the earthworm's been out here feeding on this, the earthworm's manure actually has a pH of 7. So the more they do this, the more your ground is a pH of 7. That keeps from disease, root rot, everything. Plus, your cattle can't get sick if their guts are at a pH of 7. I'm not saying that they won't ever get sick with this method. I am saying that it can be a wonderful preventative method. For the main thing that I'm trying to talk about is getting grass back on these bare spots. Every little spot on your farm that you can get to get grass on it, that's either preventing a washout, that's getting you more grazing places depending on how big it is. It's doing all sorts of different things. I can't even think of everything that it's doing all in one video, but it's doing a lot of good, guys. So if y'all like these videos, if y'all like the stuff that I'm putting out here, I try to make sure everything's educational. I'm just sharing everything that I do know and sharing all the experiences that I have here. Everything that I'm learning, I learn as I go, which we all do. Okay, but then there's a lot of stuff that I do know for sure, a lot of stuff that I experiment with. So if y'all like this content, please subscribe to my channel. It helps a lot. And don't forget, hit the like button. If you don't want to subscribe, at least hit the like button and the share button. Hit the like button and the share button so that it will be spread out for other people. So somebody that can use the information can use it, and actually get some good out of it. If you're subscribed to me, if you're not subscribed, make sure you subscribe. If you are subscribed to me, hit the bell icon, because my videos are kind of sporadic. they're not always going to be the same time. They're not always going to be the same day. And the reason is because I'm not a competitor YouTuber. Okay, a competitive YouTuber, sorry. I'm not out here trying to just grow my channel, and that's the only thing I'm trying to do. My main goal is to make good content. Okay, so because of that, when I get a good video, I'm going to post a good video. Okay, so it's as simple as that. So hit that bell icon. You'll know whenever I post a video. Thanks, everybody. Have a good day.